Hey YouTubers, Steven here. Okay, today we're going to do something a little different. Okay, love my travel mug, coffee mug that my son bought me for Christmas. Thanks, Hunter. I know we're supposed to be drinking beer when we're brewing beer, but I brewed coffee. That should count, right? Yeah, I think so. Anyways, today what I'm going to do is a partial extract kit that I got from Grape. This is the name of it is 1820 IPA. So let me move the camera. We'll unbox this. Let's see what's inside, and let's get brewing. All right, so here's the label. Okay, 1820 IPA, and let's open up the box. All right, brewing instructions. Very important to have. Oh, it's just like Christmas time. Alright, 1 container of malt extract, 2 containers of malt extract, bottling sugar. We'll have to put that away for when we're ready for it. Another container of malt extract. Alright, goody, goody, goody. A bag of crushed grains, very important. And our grain bag. This is just cheesecloth. I was going to pick up a paint strainer, but you know what? It's first time, doing grain, so we'll use that. It come with it. And we've got a package of boiling hops, package of finishing hops, some flavor hops, and a package of yeast. So, pretty basic, pretty simple. Let's get our brew pot going with some water, and we'll follow the instructions and we'll learn how to do this together. Alright everybody, I've got my water. It took some playing around to get my stove at the right setting. I actually did this one day with my 8-gallon brew pot just to see, because I was thinking about doing a brew in a bag. And I do have the setting. I'm going to post a picture so you can see what the setting is on my Whirlpool stove. Alright, now I've already got my bag of grains. Alright, I've already got it in the cheesecloth, so we're going to put it in here. And let's let it steep. The instructions say 155 degrees for 30 minutes, and we're going to let it steep for 30 minutes. I've got my timer here on my watch, and we'll come back when it's done steeping. Alright, there's 30 minutes. Alright, so let's get our thermometer out of here. I wish I had a digital thermometer, but this does the trick. Now the instructions say I don't have to steep, or not, the instructions say I don't have to sparge the grains, but you know what, I think I might. Just grab my little end here, and believe you me, this is hot on the fingers. So we're just going to set this on top of my brew pot. I got the tea kettle going here, so that boiling, so that when we put in our malt extract I can get the rest of the good stuff out. And I got some hot water here. I'm just going to sparge a little bit, just because. Even though it says not to worry about it, I just want to make sure I get all the goodness out of the grains that I have. Alright, turn off that. We'll let this drip for a few minutes, and we'll let this drip and we'll come back. Alrighty, so next on our instructions, is to add all of our malt extract. Now I've had this soaking in hot water in the sink for probably about 15 minutes, and it's quite liquidy, so let's add all of it into our pot. First container down. Give this a stir because I still have the stove element on and I don't want it to burn on the bottoms and scorch. Okay, so that one's good. And the next one. Some hot water in these and we'll get the rest of the malt extract out. Get the last one open here. Oh, look at this yummy goodness. And if you could only smell this. Alright, let's get some boiling water in here. Get the rest of all this goodness out of here. Small one on the go. Give this a little stir so we can get it all out. And we'll just pour it into this bigger one. Clean, clean as a whistle. Alright, let's get the stirred one over here. Just transfer the hot. Ooh. Very toasty on the fingers. Look at that, perfectly clean. I got all that goodness out of it. Ah! My wife's looking behind me here like I've got 4 heads. Ah, wives just don't understand, eh guys? Now she's shaking her head at me. Alright, I think we got all the good stuff out of there. Dump it all into our pot. There we go. Look at that. Perfectly clean again. And funny enough, while I was waiting for the grains to steep, I was watching, catching up on some of my videos that I didn't see this week. And shout out to Jake and Dar. What a coincidence. You happened to buy your first partial extract kit this week, and so did I. So I sense a beer swap coming on. Alright folks, so the next thing we've got to do, we've got our malt extract in here. We've got our wort from our steeped grains. Next, boil. So let's crank this puppy up. We'll get her going, and once I get a boil going, we'll come back. Alright everybody, this is a crucial part of the boil. It's just starting to boil. We're going to wait for our hot break. I think I have it right. Anyways, we want to make sure that it's not going to boil over, so I'm ready with my spoon. Unfortunately, I don't have a water bottle to spray it. Uh-oh, here we go. Try and stir this so I don't... Oh, take it off the heat because I don't want it to overflow. Settle down, settle down. Take this off the heat for a minute. This little stir, let the foam settle down a little bit. Maybe a water bottle would have been a good idea. Alright, let's get this over here. Come on, foam, settle down. Nope. Turn. Alright, are you going to be good? Behave for me? So far so good. Cross your fingers. Alright, I think we might be okay. The foam doesn't seem to be coming up too much. So, let's get our boiling hops. And I'm sure we're going to have another big foam over again. Woo, there we go. Alright. Settle down, settle down. Maybe I should have put this in my 8-gallon brew pot, then I wouldn't have been so concerned about it boiling over. Alright, no higher, no whammies. Yeah, maybe I definitely should have used my bigger pot, but I was looking at how much liquid I was going to have for straining or for steeping my grains, and it didn't look very promising, so alright, take this up. Maybe I'll just turn the heat down just a tad. See if that helps so we can keep our boil under control. This pot's getting heavy, holding it up off the burner. Alright, seem to be keeping this under control. Good, good, good. So hopefully the mistakes that I'm making, everybody else can learn from. So I did turn this down just below the high on my element, and it seems to be under control. Alright, so set our timer, 30 minutes. It's not a very long boil, I know, but we have 2 more hop additions to throw in there, and oh wow, does that ever smell good. The only thing the instructions are kind of missing. It says to boil, but you think of boil, you put it on high and you boil. So I guess maybe I should have threw my thermometer in there. Let's get all these hops off the sides here that were up there from the boil. Oh my goodness, this smells good. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Alright, she's boiling. It's good. Alright, so our next hop interval for this is 8 minutes left of the boil, so see you in about 21 minutes. Alright, look at that. 8 minutes. Next hop addition is going to be our flavor hops. We're going to watch, make sure it doesn't boil over. because it does foam up every time you add hops. I have seen that in lots of videos. Alright, they're all in there. Give her a little stir just so it doesn't boil over. Oh, what a beautiful smell in the house. Mind you, my wife totally disagrees with me. Alright, so we'll be back with a minute left of our boil. Okay folks, here we go. We're down to a minute 15 seconds. So our instructions say the last minute of the boil. Our last hop addition. There we go. These are finishing hops. Give this a little stir in here. And then we're going to put this in the sink and we're going to get it cooled down as quick as we can. I don't have a work chiller, but that's on my wish list for this winter. Definitely will have a work chiller before I do a full all grain batch. Just because my big brew pot won't fit in my sink. And that's a lot of water to cool down. And on a note, while we're still waiting, here's an idea if you get everything sanitized. Notice I have my bung upside down, okay? Because this end, the fat end, really doesn't matter if it sits on something. But what I've been doing is everything's sanitized. Here's my lid for my fermenter. I just set it on my bucket like that, and oh, here we go. Our boil is done. Alright, let's get this off the heat and get it in the sink so it gets cold. Alright, here we go. I got cold water going in here in the pot. I've got my thermometer back in here so I can keep an eye on the temperature. And the instructions do say to give this a little stir just to help circulate the water so it cools down. I'll have to also keep an eye on this to make sure that the pot doesn't start floating. Temperature's dropping pretty good though. Down 10 degrees already. So far so good, pot's not boiling. So we'll come back when this is all cooled down. Okay, so on the thermometer, it shows I've got the wort down to 45 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to take my pot out of the water. And let's pour it in here with some cold water that I already put in. I didn't want to add too much cold water because I didn't know how much this was going to take up. So now what we're going to do is top this up to the 5-gallon mark, or 23 liters. Alrighty, let's top this up here. We're almost there. Perfect. Alright. Now let's give this a good stir. Doesn't look like my thermometer is moving any. And I touch the side of the bucket. She's pretty cool, so I may actually have this a bit cold. But that's alright. Better to be too cold than too hot. It just mean that it'll take longer for the yeast to start. So let's get our wort aerated. Get some oxygen in there. Alright, I think we're good. Now I've got a little yeast starter going here as per the instructions, so we're just going to pour this in. Now if it was too warm then I'd be concerned, but it's actually a little bit on the cold side, so that's okay. We'll give that a stir in there, and we're ready to put our cover on. sealed and ready to go. I'm going to take my airlock here, stick her on there, a little bit of water in there. Alright, first step is done. Now in 5 to 6 days we're going to put this into a secondary fermentation or a glass carboy for another week, and we'll come back when we go to do that step. Hey everybody, okay, we're back. It's been a week. So for the 1820 IPA, the instructions say to do a secondary fermentation. Normally I don't do a secondary fermentation, but I'm going to follow the instructions to the T on this one. I've got my glass carboy all sanitized here, my lines, they're all sanitized, so let's get this started and we'll move on to the next step. Just rubber bung over here. It smells good. Now here's a little trick for everyone. I just use a little plastic nail tray, and it's just a little box, and I just set it underneath my fermenting bucket very gently, so not to stir everything up. That way the bucket is actually off to an angle, so if I put my siphon in this way, I get the most liquid with the least amount of sediment. Oh, now I'm not all the way to the bottom yet, because when I pull up on my siphon, I don't want to, be sucking up all the sediment and whatnot. So we'll just give it a gentle draw. We want our hose to go all the way to the bottom. We don't want to get any air at this point in the process. I'm just going to slowly lower my siphon until I feel it touch the bottom. Now my particular siphon actually has a cap on the bottom, so it keeps it above the trub. And there we go. Now it's just a waiting game for everything to transfer over. Okay, so I sanitized a new bung, new airlock, set her down in here. Alright, now, I let this sit in the fermenting bucket for a week. The instructions did say, up to 5 days. I was sick there for a couple of days, so it's not going to hurt if you leave it in the fermenting bucket a little longer. And now, according to the instructions, leave it in for a secondary ferment for 7 to 10 days, and then should be ready to bottle. So hope you enjoyed the video. I'm not going to show the bottling segment because that's pretty straightforward, but stay tuned for the taste test, and thanks for watching.